Imagine being able to create professional quality 3D volumetric captures anywhere, anytime with just your mobile device. No complex studio setups, no large budgets, just your creativity. Our guest today, Alex Groner, founder and CEO of Vellex XR, is making this vision a reality. With a career steeped in the world of gaming and virtual production, including roles at powerhouse studios like EA Games and Sony, Alex brings a deep understanding of what makes immersive experiences work. Now, with Vellex XR, is dedicated to democratizing 3D captures and real-time content creation, making volumetric video accessible to filmmakers, game developers, and creative storytellers everywhere. On this episode, Alex shares how Velox VR's technology is redefining boundaries in volumetric capture, the challenges of making complex tech user-friendly, and his vision for the future where capturing reality is in 3D is as simple as snapping a photo. This is the Starting Pixel podcast. I am Rob Chandler. Let's jump in. Welcome to the Starting Pixel podcast, the podcast dedicated to exploring the new, innovative, and disruptive technologies transforming film, television, advertising, social media, and content creation for all kinds. From XR and AR, digital humans and AI, to location capture, LED walls, and beyond. Each week, we demystifying groundbreaking tech for creatives, producers, directors, and cinematographers who are navigating this exciting, evolving landscape. Whether you're a seasoned technical veteran or brand new into virtual production, our mission here is to inspire, educate, and connect our global community of storytellers. Why film it anyway? Alex, welcome. That was a very long introduction.
That's all right.
Sure. Cool. Yeah, it's great to meet you. It's great to meet you again. So, let's start off. Let's tell us a little bit of story, background of Alex and your sort of journey of how you got from doing the thing that you love to doing another thing that you love and are passionate about. So tell us, a bit of an introduction of that.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for inviting, Rob. I'm really glad to be part of this podcast and part of your community, Starting Pixel community. It's a great bunch of people and industry experts. So my background is really video games. I've been a video games programmer all my career. I started industry working for Sony Entertainment Studio in Great Marlborough Street in London. Then I worked for Electronic Arts and Guildford Company. I worked for the Foundry VFX company.
Right.
Worked for Nuke for a couple of years, so it was a very interesting experience. Then I worked for a few years for Dreams VR company before starting my own business.
So tell us a little bit about actually what you did at those companies.
Okay.
It's quite a big thing, right? It's like game development.
Exactly, yes. It was, again, I'm a technical guy. I've been a programmer working on real-time rendering, 3D engines all my time. When I joined Sony, I was working as a engineer on franchise titles like Getaway and Gangs of London, if you remember.
All right.
Games.
Yeah.
So it was the time when Grand Theft Auto was quite popular, and Sony wanted to create an internal title for something similar, but based in London. We recreated Central London, the digital copy on Sony PlayStation PSP hardware. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was quite a nice portable gaming device. And my part of the project was to develop a driving experience in a car. So people were driving a car on the streets.
Right.
Yes, very similar to Grand Theft Auto. So it was quite interesting, good experience. And in Electronic Arts, I was working as a part of EA tech team. So behind all physics-based solutions for big titles like FIFA and NFL and Tiger Woods golf titles. So it was a quite good time as well.
So what was it? What was your sort of what was the day job kind of thing at those things? Were you was it coding? What was your sort of your part of it?
Yeah, I'm a C++ real-time rendering engineer, and was always interested in bringing photorealistic type of effects into gaming. So my passion always about how I can bring real life events, action as photorealistic as possible in the quickest way, in an efficient way for gaming, for interactive experiences. And this was one of the reason motivation why I decided to go into VFX and filming, because I wanted to learn different pipelines, different tools.
Okay.
How people create these visual effects, how they can create this high fidelity quality in the digital forms. Because when you work for games, you always do compromises in terms of quality of actors,
Right.
environments, in order to get decent performance. So it's like
Got you.
and
Constantly juggling, right?
yeah, this is where at the time everyone started talking about how these two big industries can merge. So how people can create photorealistic action as quickly as possible.
Right.
And Unreal Engine, in my understanding, was sort of the key tool which allows different industries, both industries, to work together, to share.
So when you say the both industries, so do you mean the filmmaking and the gaming industry?
And gaming, yes,
Got you.
yeah, gaming
Got you.
more
Okay.
real time, fast, efficient processing, whereas film and VFX more focused on quality.
Right.
Yes,
It's interesting that you're also at Foundry, right? Because Foundry is Nuke, isn't it?
yes,
Which is the big VFX pipeline. I must admit, I don't know too much about it. And they've just launched their own sort of virtual production plugin, maybe platform. Can't remember. I'm probably going to get told off by them for not getting it right. That we're going to get them on in a few weeks' time anyway to talk about it. That's cool. So then you've done a lot of that, a lot of C++ coding, and then how did you make that jump? How are you sort of doing what you're doing now?
yes. Again, so I always wanted to break this type of solutions with more disruptive, innovative way of bringing real life action as photorealistic as possible into immersive experiences. Before starting Velox, I started a company called Atom Universe. It was a virtual world company for PlayStation 4. And this is where it is. The virtual world is still alive, and I was part of a tech team developing the whole virtual world from scratch on PlayStation using Unreal Engine, and it was again very interesting experience. Built engine, highly scalable engine for PlayStation and Steam, and building community around it.
So how did you? So you've used Unreal Engine. What was it mainly before? Was there another game engine that you used, or?
Yeah, I think we created our own engines always. So it's
Right.
yes, exactly, yes.
Yeah.
But it was not the best way, because you always want to concentrate on the content, creating
The actual.
nice features rather than
Right.
getting into technical.
Right.
And Unreal Engine was always providing enough good sort of platform where you can start building on top of it. Because I'm a plus engineer, and that's what I really liked Unreal Engine, because it's based on C++. So you can extend it, you can build on top of it, you can get access to the source code, you understand how it works.
Right.
Things like that. So yes, it was really, really friendly for developers in terms of building stuff.
Got you. Cool. Okay. Sorry, I interrupted you. So you started up another campaign, another company that's still going. Yeah. Cool. And then what?
And the last thing which I was doing on that company was how I can bring real life people into virtual world. And I was building a tool how people can scan their faces and build avatars with their real life world. So if you remember, there was Sony had a Sony Xperia phones,
right?
If you remember that, and they had an app called 3D Creator.
Okay.
3D Creator, it doesn't exist anymore. They stopped selling these phones. But that app was quite useful for scanning faces. So it was designed like, okay, you are seated position, scan your face. It will create your model. And we designed a solution how you can put this scan head on an avatar.
Got you.
and from the app you can import your avatar into virtual world. So it was my bit last kind of feature I was trying to implement and build in virtual world. But we did lots of experiments. It was working. Solution still there, but it didn't take off because Sony stopped 3D creator.
Right.
And obviously there were no different alternative.
And when about was this? What's the time
I think
scale?
it was 2018, 2019, something around this. This is where when Apple started showing their sort of face scanning type of tool. Remember?
Got you.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. See, when you say it, it doesn't sound very long ago, but it's like 6 or 7 years ago now, right?
Yes,
it's like a long time in tech.
Yes.
Got you.
Unreal Engine was showing an app where you can drive your face, like facial. If you remember, you're looking at the screen. Yeah. And you can just talk, and then the lip sync in and things like that. So it was quite in line with what we were planning to do. Then I left Atom Universe and started Vellex. So it was around the end of 2019, 2020. And I started Vellex as a technology company, really focused on building innovative tech for content creators using Unreal Engine. How to bring real life environments. At the time, it was just to scan environments and bring it into Unreal Engine workflows as quickly, as efficient as possible.
And what was so you say that was sort of what was the target audience? Who did you think were going to use it?
At the time, we just really wanted to build innovative tech. So because we started with as a small group of
technicals.
Yes, technical. We wanted to find something which we can build from scratch and make it unique, innovative in some way. And since we were coming from video games industry, we realized at the time existing solutions for scanning are quite difficult, time consuming. I think it was the time when photogrammetry was quite becoming more popular.
Thing. Right.
Yes, and obviously we realized, okay, there is huge problems with photogrammetry. You need to take hundreds and thousands of photographs.
Yeah.
Process it. It will take time, lots of data. And we said, okay, why we don't create a new tool, something like a mobile phone or any depth cameras, and just start looking around, stream this data into your computer, and computer will create geometry on the fly, essentially. So the idea was to stream all this data directly into Unreal. And in Unreal, you can see point cloud and geometry just appearing live. So this was actually our first idea and first product we wanted to build.
Cool, but don't go too far into it, because we'll talk about a little bit more about actually what it is in part 2 actually. Well, that sounds really that's what you're doing, for the last few years, right?
Yeah, and but when Apple ARKit launched their own ARKit scanning software. So we realized, okay, here we go. We are trying to compete with Apple, so it's not the best way. And we decided to change our focus on action, on dynamic scenes.
Right, got you.
This is where we've made a full switch on capturing real life action rather than static environments. And now we are doing this product of capturing real life action of people or any dynamic scenes.
All right, then. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back, and we can see. We'll pick up there at that point where you sort of actually what it does. Brilliant. Okay. This episode is brought to you by Modern Wolf. Not sure where to start? How big a stage do you actually need? What about driving plates? Do you even need them? Is Unreal Engine necessary? Wait, what is Unreal Engine? You're thinking about virtual location scouting, but should you? How much is this all going to cost? And the big one, am I about to wreck my career by going the virtual production route? Yeah, there's lots of questions, and guessing your way through virtual production isn't the answer. That's where Modern Wolf comes in. We're an independent virtual production supervision studio, here to guide you from cradle to grave, whether you're just dipping your toes into VP or knee-deep in LED walls and camera tracking. We make sure you get exactly what you need. No overspending, no mishaps, just the right solution for your production. So if you need someone in your corner, choose Modern Wolf. Visit modernwolf.com to find out more. Modern Wolf, why film it any other way? Brilliant. Welcome back. Welcome back. So tell us really now about what the magic is that you have created, and why you've created it, and how that's going.
I think the biggest feature and thing we are really proud of right now is live streaming functionality of how you can bring real live action into Unreal. Essentially, just using your mobile phone. So we've done, as you described, we've done lots of work in terms of how you can capture and reconstruct 3D from 2D videos using volumetric videos, depth-based videos. But having this live streaming functionality makes this experience essentially fast and streamable from just your mobile device. Maybe I can show a live quick demo. Okay, so yeah, we have a pretty much standard Unreal Engine project. You might recognize it.
So as it's audio, I'm going to describe what we're seeing as well, right? So just very, very briefly, Alex is sharing his PC screen, and we are seeing the standard Epic Games, one of their studios as a project, yeah. And Alex is driving us around the studio through the viewport as well. So yeah, okay, over to you, Alex.
Yes, and if you see, I'm just holding a mobile phone with our app running on the device, and we have our plugins installed in Unreal Engine.
Okay.
And there is already set up a connection with IP address between the app and the plugin.
So that's the app on the mobile phone.
Yes, that's right.
So you're running the app on the mobile phone. Gotcha.
Yeah, these tools are already available on marketplaces. People are using it, and everyone can just find and install and using it. But one of the latest feature we are launching is the ability so you can film action with mobile device and stream it into Unreal Engine live.
Got ya.
Yes, and
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if I launch it from here.
Cool. So Alex has launched something within Unreal Engine, and a couple of cameras have come up. Okay, so what I can see now is a viewport of Alex. Yeah, so I can see Alex within the Unreal Engine scene now.
Yeah, so essentially from a different camera you can see that my phone becomes a virtual camera in Unreal Engine. So essentially I can drive a virtual camera in Unreal Engine live just by standing up and walking around.
Okay. So let me just explain to sort of the listeners. I can see a cine camera in Unreal Engine. Now, a cine camera is like a digital version of a video camera. It looks like it's like a 3D version, and it's moving around in sync with Alex moving his iPhone around in the real world. So Alex is holding it in front of his face. The camera of the iPhone is looking at Alex's face, and then so that's how that's working. And then what I can see on the viewport now is the Epic studio that Alex opened up, but Alex is now in that studio. Alex is physically in the studio, and the camera is like it's moving around as if he's holding it in the studio.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
and it's all live.
Yeah,
and without green screen, as you notice, without any special setup. So essentially, there is no limitation because I could just literally go to a different room. I have constant connection with my Unreal application.
Got you.
And I show this in a virtual environment.
Yeah. So what we'd normally do in this sort of environment to get this to work is that we'd film Alex standing on a green screen, and we'd use technology like Ultimats, which is this thing that is a keyer, and what that does is that it turns the green into an alpha channel, and an alpha channel basically means it's transparent. So you'd normally use that technology, but what Alex is showing us at the moment is you don't need that. And he's literally just holding his iPhone up, and all we can see is Alex's face and his shirt. But actually, what the iPhone would be seeing is actually the room that Alex is in as well. So he's got a door behind him. He's got a wall behind him, and there's some office furniture as well. But you can't see that in the Unreal Studio. It's quite hard to explain. People might have to watch the video. We'll put some links in the podcast as well, so people can get to watch the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Another interesting point that since Unreal Engine 5.5 has a native integration with NDI tools, and you can set up media capture immediately like this, and make your virtual camera from Unreal as a webcam, and stream it to Unreal, stream it to YouTube or Twitch, basically live. So you have a connection from mobile phone, Unreal Engine, and YouTube broadcast stream essentially for free from Unreal.
Okay, so you don't need to go something through OBS, right? Which you would have done, right? So just for the listeners, OBS is this. It's an application on PC, or I think it's only on a PC. There's another program called vMix, but basically what that does is that it takes in a video feed and then it sends it to YouTube. It's a bit like Zoom kind of thing, but Zoom on with all the whistles and bangs.
Yes.
Yeah, so effectively like that. Yeah. Got ya. Cool.
So I think what we realized after launching it is one of the most exciting application, especially in the context of virtual production, is live previews. So I think it's almost companies, production studios we were talking to. There is one big feature which they like is basically just live representation of real people with virtual sets, probably which don't exist, or they.
Oh yeah, I tell you what, we're going to go for a break first, and then let's talk about that thing that you're actually going to talk about.
Oh, hello. It's a bit quiet in here without an ad, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe you want to reach filmmakers, producers, and creatives who are all about the latest innovations in film, TV, advertising, corporate content, or social media. Got a game-changing tool that saves time and money? A virtual production studio that no one's heard of? But hey, you've got free snacks. Or maybe you just want to remind everyone that you're the best brand out there. Well, this silence, it could be yours. Get in touch at startingpixel.com and let's fill this space with something a little bit more exciting. The Starting Pixel podcast. Why film it any other way?
Cool. Okay, so we've seen it, and it looks great. So you're using your iPhone, you're able to, I guess, teleport. It might be quite a good phrase. You're teleporting a person into a virtual environment.
Yes. Yeah.
And it looks as if that person's there. And that place could be. I mean, you showed it in the studio, but that could be on Mars. It could be, I don't know, on a street in Paris. You could be loads and loads of different places. So we sort of shown that, and that looked really, really cool. So yeah, this bit of the show is really about why and how, what the uses would be, and if you were a producer of something, why would they be interested in using it? So yeah, you started to talk about that you'd been speaking.
I think there is a big potential of how this can be part of a bigger collaborative solution, connecting people on the location, demonstrating how this looks like in Unreal, and showing final results or live results of merging real life humans, actors with virtual environments to other people. So it means this can scale because you can have multiple cameras, multiple mobile devices
Okay.
at location, watching same action from different angles and streaming it directly to Unreal. And in Unreal, you will see multiple cameras animated, which you can choose which one you want to see the action from.
Right. So hold on, let me just play that back to you so I've got it right in my head. So there's an actor, and they're just standing, say, in a rehearsal room, and you're teleporting them into a scene. Let's say that's a beach scene, for argument's sake. So there's a beach scene that's been developed in Unreal Engine, and that's right. So the actor's doing their piece, and there's more than one camera on them. Is that what you're saying? So let's say there's 3 cameras. So all of those 3 cameras are seeing that particular actor. And now when you look at Unreal, or the output from Unreal is that you can then switch between those 3 cameras looking at the same actor. Is that right?
Yes, I think this is
Okay,
where
cool.
I believe this can scale, and that's in terms of applying in virtual production workflows. The main benefit is, since you have live connection of action in Unreal Engine scene, you can make any adjustments basically live with your Unreal scene, because you can move objects, you can turn on some effects, change lighting, and have a constant communication with people on the set. Saying, so basically you can ask them just to move away, go back, or some sort. So it means you can always check how real life sort of action fits or work with your virtual setup.
With the virtual set,
Yes.
whether or not you could, this argument, you could move a palm tree sort of out of the way because the perspective's not quite right for you. So that allows you to, I guess, help it helps construct that 3D environment, right?
Yes, that's
before
right.
it gets to final. Got you. Yes, I can see it actually. I know when you think about it, because I guess what normally would happen is that a 3D environment would be built, say this beach scene with these palm trees, and it would probably get quite final before it would ever go into a virtual production stage, which is quite expensive, right? So just to test it, you'd put it into the virtual production stage and then have talent come in and actors to do it. So that's costing you quite a bit of money just to see how it looks together, because it's really difficult from experience of being able to work out the right shot blocks and the right positions and the right camera movements together with the virtual props and the virtual art department as well, right? Yeah, right. Okay, that makes sense now. I mean, do you see it as being very much something to be used for very high-end film making, or with sort of other applications have you noticed?
Yeah, I think we just started showing this tool really and seeing feedback. Obviously, it would make sense for bigger production studios if they see how they can use it on a higher scale, and understanding where the savings can be in terms of.
Right.
For smaller studios, I don't know. I think it would be really interesting to explore, especially for us. Indie or smaller studios can actually use it for filming already, creating content. So essentially, because you have access to actors and create content basically quickly in virtual or with virtual objects and effects. So you can already create some content. So that's why we are interested if this can be used on a smaller scale, but more efficiently without big budget productions.
And what department do you think would get the most out of it? I mean, obviously there's the director has the big vision. Would it be the VAD department, or the sort of, who do you see who's the key user or the key decision maker?
Yes, I think so. Yes, this is really can be really useful for decision makers making quick iterations, experiments, tests.
Right.
So it's like you can have a number of scenarios you can apply, but essentially with this technology, with these tools, you can iterate quickly within hours a day. Okay, just going back and forth in terms of, okay, let's try this, see results. Let's try this, see the results, without doing it like, maybe every day or weeks waiting for this. But you can actually iterate very quickly with this solution. Yes, and our solutions allows recording all this. So it means it's a live connection. It doesn't mean it will be discarded, removed. All these sessions are recorded. So if you liked some scenario, you can keep it, you can replay, and see how it looked like when it was doing. So we really want to keep working with our partners on this and making it more suitable for specific needs.
Where do you think it is in the sort of the production cycle at the moment? Is it still in alpha? Is it beta? Is it fully released?
Live streaming functionality is currently in beta. We are inviting any production studios, artists, anyone who is interested to try it out and provide feedback for us, contacting us directly. So we're quite open. We don't have this available to the public yet, but because we want to work with professional studios who can quite technical, who can understand how it works and provide useful feedback for us. So therefore, if anyone is interested to join in this early access program, obviously, you can find us or find us on website, on LinkedIn.
Yeah, we'll put some links in. That sounds great. So what's sort of next for you? What are you up to at the moment? Have you got any other projects going on? Yeah.
Well, like we mentioned before, we're pushing quite hard on AI. So we've been experimenting with how we can apply AI in our solution, our tools, and we've done lots of work in terms of how we can integrate Gen AI video to video tools with our solutions to generate Gen AI actors, Gen AI characters. Yes, and as part of our tools, there is a feature which we released before, but called Vellex Recorder. And Recorder is a tool how you can capture gameplay action directly from Unreal Engine in a volumetric format. So essentially, you can design a scene in Unreal using metahumans as actors placeholders.
Okay. Got you.
So yeah, you can design your action scene directly from Unreal with camera movement, animation of your actors. It can be something crazy like chasing scene, explosions, or chasing by zombies or something like this.
Okay.
And use metahumans as your action actors. And with our Vellex Recorder tool, you can record this action from your camera,
Okay.
and it will record video, it will record depth maps, it will record masks, everything what you normally do with our mobile device capturing real live action.
So hold on, let me just play that back to you so I've got it straight in my head. So that's a scenario where you've created your 3D environment and you're going to do, I guess, stunt viz, right? That's
Yes,
sometimes what it's called, right? So let's say two people are fighting, but those two people are people called metahumans. Metahumans, for people who don't know what a metahuman is, basically it looks like we'll call it a robot within Unreal, and it's controlled by animation, and that animation can be sort of programmed, I guess. You can literally drag and drop where the hands and the arms and the head can be, but you can also feed it data from external sensors. So if you were to dress someone in a particular suit, I mean, there's one called Accent. There are other ones. There are also some other very cool technologies, but that tracks where someone's hand would be and their arm, and all of that data can go into this metahuman, this sort of robot, this silvery robot, and it moves exactly as the person wearing all of these sensors would do. Yeah, that's sort of how that works. So that metahumans, as you said, you program them to fight. So what happens? You talked about a camera. Is that the phone camera, or is that the camera within Unreal, or is it a physical camera?
Yes, obviously, yes. It is, from Unreal point of view, it's Unreal camera. So it can be scripted, animated directly from Unreal.
Okay, so let me just play that bit back to you. So just like the metahumans, you can have this digital version of a camera within Unreal, within a 3D environment, and that is moving like a camera operator would do on a track or do on a jib. The difference is that it can do anything. You're not constrained by the jib or the track. You're actually, it's a bit more like a drone in actual fact, probably would be the best way of. So think about a drone holding a camera, how that moves, and you're just controlling it in 3D.
Yeah.
And it can do anything you want, and the lenses can zoom in, can go wide, you can go up, down, left, right, and move it all about, right? So that sort of thing. And what you can then do is that you can record all of those movements.
Yeah.
And they will do it 1,000 times if you wanted to. So if it's going very, very simply, if it's going from point A to point B in a straight line, it will go along that straight line. If you decide halfway along to do a loop, and then carry on, you can just push the play button, and that camera will do that action every single time. But it's a digital camera. I should actually not say it's a digital camera, because people will think it's a physical camera, but it's not. It's a virtual camera. Sorry, within Unreal. So it's not a physical thing. It's just it's a virtual thing. So, yeah. So that's what you're saying. So that's the camera we're talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So carry on. So now I've sort of explained that bit.
Yes, and next step is you render the whole sequence from Unreal as a video file and process that video of metahumans with a Gen AI video to video tool.
Right.
In our experiments, we tried and we used Runway Gen 3 tool, if you're familiar with this, and the outcome of Runway or Gen AI tool is replacing metahumans with photorealistic actors.
Gotcha. Let me play that back to you because this is quite exciting now. So the camera movement's recorded. So you've I'm going to really dumb this down. Someone's pushed a record button on the virtual camera, right? Physically, just like you would do on an Alexa or anything. You've pushed the record button. Someone's then pushed the play button to move the camera from, let's say, goes halfway along, does a loop for no particular reason, and then stops. And it's basically just recorded the feed of that. Yeah. So you've got two of these weird meta-human robot things fighting, and the camera action is it goes along, it does a little bit of a loop, and it carries on sort of around them. Right. So you can sort of, hopefully everyone can visualize that. So then you've taken that video of that action, these two fighters and the camera stuff, and then you've given that to some clever AI thing, and you've told it, replace these two actors, one with Rob Chandler and one with Alex Groner, right? Yeah? Yeah, and then the output of that is that you and I are fighting in our samurai outfits, and there's this massive action shot going on with the camera, which you wouldn't physically be able to do any other way, right? You could program it in such a way you would never be able to film that live sequence, because either it's too dangerous because we've got, I don't know, laser swords or something weird, but also the camera does an action that is just impossible to do. Yeah. Is that sort of what it is? So
yes, I think the main sort of all crazy creative type of scenarios where filmmakers, I believe, or content creators can think of. And with our solution is, because normally when you process this with Runway, it's your final result. So it's like you've got a new version of video, which you like it, which you don't like it. You don't have much. And eventually you realize you don't have much control of what the content is. So you can just try different prompts. It will give you a new version of this video
every day.
Again, you might not like it, you don't like it, but it's what you get from Runway or for similar solutions. But since we exported original video with our tools, we know how to take this new video from Runway back to Unreal and essentially separate your digital new generated actors from background and apply it on top of your meta-humans you had originally.
Okay, let me play this back to you then. Okay, so you've given it to the AI. It's created this scene of Rob and Alex fighting wearing samurai outfits in a sequence, a moving camera that is unfilmable.
Mm-hmm.
You've taken that in, then you've taken that footage, and then you've peeled off. I'm going to sort of say this sounds really creepy. You've peeled off the skin of both you and I digitally. Then you've gone back into Unreal Engine, and you've stretched that skin back over those metahumans. That you can control the limbs of by, either it's, as I said before, it's either using an external input from a performance capture, or you've just animated it traditionally by move here, move there, move there. So you sort of you've peeled out digital skins off and then stretched them back over those digital versions of us from the film into Unreal Engine. So it was 2D in the film, and somehow you've been really clever and you've created a sort of I think you call it a map, right? That's what you normally call it, a map, but it sort of doesn't give it, but it's just like wrapping.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. With a very good analogy, yes. And essentially you will end up with your Unreal Engine scene, but with your metahumans reskinned.
Right.
With a new version of characters. So you will have exactly the same animation from your original camera.
Yeah, from the camera.
Yes, but the main benefit is obviously you continue working when you're in your 3D scene. So you can change lighting, you can add some effects, you can add some volumetric effects. So essentially it's like a more advanced way of...
Right, I get it. So you can't change the camera because that's what's gone through the process. But what you can do is that you can change anything that's you would normally be able to change in an Unreal set. So if you wanted more clouds, if you wanted to change it from night to day, if you wanted to put more palm trees in,
That's right.
if you wanted to change the palm trees to pink palm trees, you can do all of the clever Unreal stuff, but you can't change the how that camera moved, or the lens, or anything to do sort of with the digital camera, right? Or the fight scene. So once the fight scene's locked in, the fight scene's locked in. But everything else in this sequence you can change. Got you. That sounds brilliant.
This is what we are looking into as a next big direction for us.
Okay.
I truly believe this could be a sort of really useful workflow of creating a new CG based type of or AI based type of content videos where if you don't have lots of budgets or but you
Yeah. Well, I guess it's another tool, right? I always think technology can find its way. You never know where someone's going to use it a lot of the time as well. They suddenly sort of see that and go, oh, that solves a problem that I've been thinking about for a very long time as well. Alex, that's been amazing. Thank you so much for your insights. We're going to get you back on, without a doubt, to show us those things. And when you start, you've got some more stuff to show us. That'd be amazing if you can do that.
Right.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Next week, we're going to interview a virtual production supervisor, Tin Joquera, who is based now in Australia, and we're going to talk about some of the awesome productions that he's been involved in and what it's like being a virtual production supervisor. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.